No, K-pop isn't declining or getting worse. But there are things that do feel different, and it's definitely going through a weird period, so let's talk about it. I think there's been a lot of conversations in and around K-pop spaces on the internet about how people are feeling about K-pop right now, especially this year. People saying it's not been as great or as exciting as it used to be, they're not as engaged with the comebacks or any sort of like fan material, dance practices, performance, award shows, events and stuff like that. Obviously, this is very subjective. This entire video and what I will be talking about is subjective. There's many people who don't feel like that and are having fun, and that's great. And people say this every year, even back before it started blowing up to what it is right now. But I've definitely noticed an uptake of this opinion this year a lot as well. I've always been someone, like I said, who's always seen this opinion, and I've just kind of always looked at it being like, well, no, that's, I'm sorry you feel that. It's very valid. I don't feel like that at all. But I can't lie, 2025 has been the first year where I've kind of felt that in a way. I don't disagree with what they're saying, and I want to look at why other people are feeling that, but also mainly why I feel like that as well. As I mentioned, this is very subjective, so I'm only talking about from my perspective and how I feel, and I think I want to explore that and open up this discussion to other people as well. When talking about why K-pop is not as good, many people cite the music, of course, the concepts, the comeback rollouts, and obviously how the industry moves. Again, as I will mention, a lot of these are very subjective and problems talked about over the years that aren't new, but there's definitely an uptake in these opinions, and it just feels like more people are just saying that. Also, my own relationship with K-pop in the current day and how that has changed as well. Firstly, what is going on with K-pop right now? So the main argument and opinions I've seen this year is that K-pop isn't just what it used to be. It's not hitting, it's not been great, there's not been very many good comebacks, and the comebacks in music are just not grabbing people's attention or aren't as enjoyable as they usually would be. I think naturally in any industry, and for anything that has had a massive surge in popularity for so long, for K-pop it was exponential. It's always been growing to numbers unreached and unheard of at the time, not just in K-pop but in the entire music industry in the world. I got into K-pop late November 2017, and it was literally as BTS started to rise, but definitely that 2018, 2019 and of course 2020 period is when I feel like it just kept blowing up, and it was massive. And it stayed going up for a long time, so naturally there comes a point where the popularity of something dips or stops growing at least. That's called stagnation, and I feel like K-pop's kind of got there right now. It's not going down, it's just like if it was a graph, the line would just be going horizontal right now. It's not going up or down, it's just kind of there. For me personally, the music quality of this year has been good. There have been some standout comebacks, and I've enjoyed a lot of them as well. Again, this is very my opinion, and there's many artists, especially from non-big companies, that are probably making some of the best music of the year that I haven't listened to yet. And that's also not to say the releases this year have been bad. No, there's been so many great releases, but there's also been comebacks that have just been good, but not the best. I think that's a main thing I've seen this year, is that a lot of my favourite artists have had really good comebacks this year, but they're not the best. There's always something I'm like, I like that, but it's just a little bit off. And that's fine. I think it's a double-edged sword of having a lot of unreasonable expectations to expect every single comeback, every music release, every B-side, every concept to be perfectly tailored towards you. That's just not going to happen. So it's completely fine for you to have a favourite artist and then to come back and just maybe not enjoy it as much as the last one. That's fine. 2025 for me right now is not going to be going down as one of the best years in K-pop. It doesn't have to be, and not every year should be. It's like 2021 for me. I like 2021, but looking back in terms of the comebacks, there's only like a few I still listen to and albums compared to years like 2022 and 2023 where I keep going back, and even 2020 as well. I keep going back all the time, be like, oh, that was an era. But like I said again, not every year has to be an iconic year with the most iconic comebacks ever, because, well, in the words of Syndrome, once everything's iconic, then nobody will be. As we'll come to, there has been stuff in K-pop that's obviously been massive this year, which was unexpected, but we'll get to that later. But that's how I'm kind of feeling about it right now. I also think the so-called facade of K-pop and a lot of things people would let slide and ignore is not being ignored anymore. Obviously, ignorance of idols and companies when it comes to racism, xenophobia, plagiarism, it's like I said, it's always been there and has always been an issue. But I feel like the past year has, for me, is like incredibly unavoidable, and it's always been hard not to ignore. I've never really ignored it, but it just, each year, it just kind of keeps getting like, I don't know if I just want to interact with anything that does that. Use of AI, unfortunately, is a massive talking point right now in every creative industry. When I'm talking about this AI, I'm talking about generative AI, meaning meaning stuff that it uses up so much energy and electricity. There's been many articles out there how many of the data centers which generative AI runs on is incredibly bad for the environment. Also the fact that a lot of the generative AI steals from other people, steals images, photography, art, work from other people and doesn't credit them. And it is disappointing to see companies use it, or when idols talk about using ChatGPT and AI stuff to do stuff. And like, yes, unfortunately stuff like ChatGPT is very popular right now, and I think a lot of people don't know and I unfortunately don't care about the side effects of it. So when I'm someone who's staunchly against the use of generative AI, and especially stuff like OpenAI, ChatGPT, Gemini, all that kind of stuff, it is disappointing how the industry treats their idols, especially underage children and idols. Again, this is getting to a lot of things. I don't want to mention specific cases because I think this has been a problem for a long time, and it's been one of the main problems. I'm always like, there's been some cases recently, and I feel like people have been ignorant on purpose to it just because they would rather enjoy the music and be comfortable rather than comfortability getting disturbed due to an actual problem. Continued collabs with problematic artists and companies supporting Zionists and the genocide going on in Palestine and Congo and Sudan. There's a lot here. Zionism and the support of the genocide in Palestine right now is an ongoing issue for the past 70 years, but especially in the past 2 years, and you cannot deny what is going on. That is disappointing, and I can't support that. There's a really brilliant video done by this, I'll put it here for now, that I think goes into it a lot better of how I feel. Again, this is a massive thing, but that is also one thing. And to us, it is a big thing. A lot of these things are big things. You can still enjoy things, you can still have fun with things, and you can also acknowledge the problems and ignorance in the things, as both can be true at the same time. As mentioned, obviously this is not just a K-pop problem, it's a problem in all industries, especially the Western industry as well. I could talk about for days the amounts of problems in terms of capitalism, overconsumption, Zionism, racism and xenophobia in all these industries. It still warrants calling out though in this industry, and especially as, K-pop is something I enjoy, I'm more compelled to talk about, something I feel more close to and engage with, but also use that to be a starting point to talk about it. Second point, the generation system's a bit weird right now. We are supposedly into 5th gen K-pop right now, but for me, and I don't know if this is because of my bias to other groups, but I would argue that there's no 5th gen groups that are really leading K-pop right now. 5th gen started last year, I want to say. I feel like right now 4th gen is still the powerhouse leading K-pop, and even then 3rd gen still have such a powerful presence as well. Some of the most anticipated comebacks are from 3rd generation and older 4th generation groups right now. There have been very many groups that debuted and they have amazing music, but I'm still waiting yet for a group to really emerge and lead the way. This could be many things. 3rd and 4th gen groups, these groups being a lot of people's first groups, especially during the massive era of K-pop's rise in popularity, having more stable and supporting fandoms who will stay fans for their group for longer, many groups not falling for the 7-year curse anymore and re-signing their contract, and having a lot more power and creative control to an extent. I will say it's not, not everyone has creative freedom. There's definitely not much of that still, and there should definitely be more of that, but I will say I think it's gone a lot better in the past couple of years. 5th gen, as mentioned, do have some powerhouses and some hits. It's been great, and as I mentioned, there's been great comebacks, but for me, it feels like they're taking some time to really pull through and be the next thing in K-pop. So, is K-pop in a decline? Obviously, with what we talked about so far, of course not. K-pop has reached a point where it's just too big to fail. It's a whole music industry. This music industry is going to be going on and on for years, and it now has so much attention and a stability that I don't think it's ever gonna not exist. I just think it's reached a point of stagnation, which is natural and just in a more transitional period. It's going from one big thing to the next big thing, and 2025 is just that in-between stage. It's waiting for some evolution or innovation to happen to take it to its next natural step of what it's meant to be. We have many big groups coming back, and I think there's many things to be excited about and to look forward as well. I think I've just arrived at a place where right now my relationship with K-pop isn't as deep or committed as it used to be back in the day. When I mean back in the day, I mean like last year or like the year before that, to be honest. And that's fine. If you feel the same way as me, that's fine, and I'm still in a place where I'm enjoying it, but I'm not forcing it. I think my relationship with it speaks more about a larger fandom journey and relationship with special interests and fandoms, which I'll deep dive into a bit more later. But we're talking about how K-pop's been in decline, how it's not as popular or it's a bit stagnant compared to where it used to be. But There is one thing that happened this year to do with K-pop that reached new heights that were unexpected and to such an exponential scale. Not only has it taken over the K-pop industry, it's taken over the world. You could say it sealed the honeymoon forever. Fourth point, it is K-pop Demon Hunters world and we're living in it. There's no way I can go on for this long talking about K-pop's current state without talking about the gigantic success that is K-pop Demon Hunters. I remember seeing marketing for this film and thinking it looked interesting, but a little bit wider with how it portrayed K-pop and its music. Would it just take stereotypical tropes and representations and not actually delve into like both good and bad of it? And what would it be? Would it just be incredibly shallow? But I watched the film and it was so good. I enjoyed it so much, and so many other K-pop fans did. In the first week of watching it, it was just a nice thing for K-pop being like, oh, the music's good. It's a really good story. The animation is brilliant, but also it's a really fun K-pop story. And then a lot more K-pop fans enjoyed it as well. And then non-K-pop fans started watching it, and then word of mouth spread with how good it is, and the animation is cool, and the songs and the characters, and then suddenly everyone's watching it. Everyone and their mum has watched the film, and every single song is blowing up. These characters are loved by everyone alike. Its fandom is blowing up. The songs are reaching new records ever. Golden has now become one of the biggest hits of the year worldwide. The soundtrack album is reaching new records for soundtracks and albums by girl groups not seen since the 1960s and Destiny's Child. It's everywhere, whether you like it or not, and it has certainly been the most mainstream success in K-pop has had since the rise of BTS. It has completely taken over the pop culture zeitgeist and is arguably one of the most popular films of the year. The characters are unique and lovable, the animation is insanely beautiful and so much fun, and the more you hear about the people behind the scenes and how long it's been in production for, it's so inspiring, the hard work and dedication that went into this film, especially in an age, as mentioned, as where generative soulless AI and unwanted original sequels and spin-offs for franchises no one even wants is oversaturating the film market. A film like K-pop Demon Hunters is something we needed and so much fun to have, and I think what makes it good is that the music of K-pop Demon Hunters takes inspiration mainly from the years of K-pop from like 2015 to 2020, that hyper maximalist loud sounds. It's from that era of K-pop that many K-pop fans who got into it, third and fourth gen, is right up their alley. It brings that nostalgia, but it's fresh and unique. It's the kind of music people who have been missing this year in K-pop, this is their kind of music. It's the kind of music that's like, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I've been missing, this is K-pop to me. From this also how there's been still many good releases this year in K-pop. It's doing fine. And it's also fine that it's also going through a weird transitional period where things are a bit different and uneasy and maybe not the same for some people. I think what's best right now is obviously enjoy what you want to enjoy, but also allow people to express their own opinions with things going on in K-pop, whether positive or negative. Nuance and critical thinking is great, people. Fifth point, my own feeling. Okay, let's make this about me even more. Obviously, as mentioned, I think the main reason I'm making this is my own feelings with K-pop and how it's changed. As mentioned over the years, I think we've always heard about, oh, K-pop's different, it's changed, it's not as good as it used to be. And as I said, over the years, I never cared because I disagreed, but this year's the first year I really kind of agreed with it. Not to an extent, because I still think there's so many good... See, that's the thing, I've mentioned how many times I think there's been so many good songs this year, and I do stand by that, but I also do stand by the fact that I just haven't been engaging with it as much. I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't feel a certain way. I think there's been both changes in K-pop that has been weird, and the fact my relationship with how much I'm into it or committed has changed as well. I'm a big fandom person. I've had so many relationships with different interests and know how I can interact with them and how that can change. There's been many things I've been into that I've been so hyper focused on for months that 6 months later I will completely be not focused on at all. K-pop is one of those weird things where it's one of my longest things I've been into, and still to this day I feel like if I have like what am I most into in top 5 right now, K-pop is there. But I've always been into it. It's always been something that's there, and I think because K-pop is such a fast-moving, constant content thing, it's hard to ever get a break without new stuff going on, without wanting to engage with new music or new content or new fun things, which is really fun, but it's also hard to step away from it. But I also think one rule I've kind of accept and engage with in terms of fandoms is that every so often it's always really good, especially if you're like me who runs in like internet fandom spaces and like connecting with people and can get very like overwhelmed and overstimulated when some fun things happen. It's always good to step back and evaluate your relationship with it. Is it healthy? Is it sustainable? Because most of the time it's probably fine, but I think there's a lot of people who probably don't have the best relationship and have a quite toxic, unhealthy relationship with how they act in a fandom and how they act towards people, who probably do need to step back and evaluate that. I think when I've been thinking about this, I've been thinking, what is the point? What is the point? Where was the point where this started stopping for me? I would say 2022 or 2023, because that was obviously the years when BTS announced they would be enlisting into the military whilst also going on a break as a group whilst focusing on their own individual solo projects. Obviously with BTS being my alt group, being my basically anchors to K-pop and everything, that would definitely affect my engagement with it. I obviously have other groups that I am very, very interested in and intrigued with, like Stray Kids and Red Velvet and Twice. They will always comebacks and albums and stuff going on that I was always interested in looking at, as well as many other groups, TXT, ITZY, aespa, LE SSERAFIM, IVE, ATEEZ, there's so many I can mention, NMIXX especially now, but the BTS news with everything going on definitely affected it, and that obviously went into 2023 as well. But most of 2023 otherwise was actually I was really into K-pop, I was doing so many dances, I was having so much fun. That's when I did my gym and face video and I really enjoyed that. And I do think 2023 was a really good year for K-pop and I enjoyed it. But there was one thing that happened literally 2 years ago to this day in 2023 where something came back, and what came back was an interest I had, which was my main interest before K-pop. So I got into K-pop late 2017 and this thing went on hiatus in December 2018, and even in 2018 I could felt that other one dying down as the K-pop one was rushing up my graph of what I was into at the time, and kind of never looked back since there. 2018, it was such a good year for K-pop as well. But then this thing came back in October 2023. Some of you might know what I'm talking about with those dates if you're like as insane as I am about it, but ever since that came back, I have been so into it, and it's been gradual, and this year for it has been one of the best years of my life with it. I've met so many amazing new people and friends through it. There's been so many wild things that have happened with it. So am I blaming this on the now hyperfixation of the thing I've been into for 11 years now? Honestly, yeah. Basically what it is no, K-pop isn't in decline, I'm just clickbaiting you. It's just in a weird identity crisis transitional era, which I'm sure will not last forever. There's still many great acts, but the transitions from handling the reins from 4th gen to 5th gen isn't happening yet, and I think that's why it feels so stagnant. But I'm sure there will be many 5th gen groups breaking through soon with the return of BTS and other groups right now. Literally Namjoon was at that event the other day saying our album's coming out March 2026. Fucking get that countdown ready, boys. I am ready for it. I'm so excited. I'm sure I will have that want for engagement and amount of excitement for K-pop again. K-pop has been such an important part of my life, going from my teenage years to my adult life. There's been so many albums which I pinpoint as kind of soundtracks for this point in my life. It's the reason I started this YouTube channel where I can talk. It's an important part of me and who I am, and I don't think that's ever going to go away. But I'm also glad that I felt like I could step away for a moment and reevaluate it, look at it and be like, actually, that part, I don't want to be like that anymore because I realise that's not good for me. But I can also focus on this and doing this and enjoying this even more. And that's great. And if you feel that way as well, I hope we can connect over that. Also fine to also not feel that again and to go through a period of stepping back and be more of a casual listener from something you enjoy. It's natural and it's unstable and unhealthy to expect otherwise. And if you don't ever get back into it, that's fine. Your own experience and engagement with what you're a fan of is yours. And there is no handbook nor one way of how to be a fan of something. I think I am happy that I reevaluated my engagement with K-pop, and I think others have as well, as stepping back has allowed me to realise what I do really like and what I didn't really care for as well. Notice the consumerist aspects and cut that out and learning to enjoy it by the basics. I'm so excited to see what comes next and talk about my favourite releases. I 100% still want to do videos about K-pop comebacks, don't worry, but I also feel like this is a discussion I wanted to talk about before getting back into the swing of things. I have so many ideas about talking about albums and comebacks. I still want to do a video on every single BTS solo release album. I also want to talk about comeback rankings or album rankings or song rankings. I have a whole idea of about making my own concept set list for my favourite K-pop artists because I enjoy it so much. The music has always been the thing I've most enjoyed about it, and that's never going away. If you've come to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you sticking around. Follow me on my social medias. I'm calling it Twitter, not the fucking X app, shut up. Also follow me on Instagram. I actually have a couple of photo cards I want to sell. Honestly, they're only like dupes and stuff I've found that I need to sell, so follow me if you want to trade or want to buy stuff. Let me know about this video if you agree or disagree, or just any other things you want to add on, because I think this is a discussion that's held. Please be respectful. Anything I've said in this video is not a personal attack on you, and if you've taken it that way, that's unhealthy and you should probably log off the internet for a bit and reevaluate that. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Can't believe I'm blaming Dan and Phil for my hyperfixation of K-pop going around. Oh well.